Hello everyone, this is Daniel here. Today you can't see my face because I have this nice setup here with my drawing board and the camera facing my paper. And the purpose of this video today is to give you a starting point and some tips to start developing your assignment 1, which is the manual drafting portfolio. But before we start, I'd like to say 2 reminders. The first one is about assessment 1. So as you know, as for assessment 1, you are asked to develop technical drawings by hand. And these drawings are provided in our website, stream website. And they are all in the PDF there, in a PDF file with 3 A3 pages. So the set of drawings consists of 1 floor plan, 1 section, 2 elevations, and 1 detail. And you are asked to draw or to replicate all those drawings, everything there is in there, including annotations and details, everything. So you are required to do that, to replicate that by hand on your papers. So the second thing is about the tutorial sessions starting this week, week 4, through week 7. So in the next 4 weeks, the tutorial sessions will be support sessions. So these sessions, I'd like to ask you to come prepared for these sessions, to bring your drafts, to bring your works and your questions, so we can make the most out of our time. I'm not planning to give a step-by-step lecture or instructions on how to develop your drawings. We'll be there to answer your questions and to give you any tips or help you to, overcome the challenges that you eventually face during the assignment. Okay, so let's start with this instructional video today with just some drawing tips for you to complete this assignment successfully. So first of all, I just want to give you a brief recap about the topics that you have been learning from EASY during lectures. The first thing, I'm going to share my screen now to show you the floor plan that you are required to draw by hand. So, as you might know at this point, a floor plan is simply a section of this building using a horizontal section, a cut plane, right? A horizontal cut plane. So, and that cut plane is usually around 1.5 meters high. So it's just like a section, a vertical section, but horizontal, all right? So all the objects that are closer to the cut plane are darker, are shown with darker lines because they are closer to our eyes, right? And this is a horizontal cut plane seen from above, like a bird view. So every object that is close to us, the objects that are close to us are darker, and the objects that are far from, more distant from us, we use thinner lines or lighter lines. And objects that are hidden, that means objects that are over or above the cut plane, we use projection lines or dashed lines. Okay, these objects are not shown completely on the floor plan, but their contours or boundaries are there because it's relevant. It's a relevant information. Okay, so that's basically the definition of a floor plan. Now, scale. Just a quick recap on scale. So we are going to draw, most of our drawings for assignment 1 will be drawn on a scale 1 to 50. Just the detail, the wall detail will be 1 to 10. What does that mean? A scale 1 to 50 means that I'm going to use one unit, one measurement unit to represent 50 measurement units in the real world. Okay, so every 50 units in the real world will be represented using a one unit on our paper. In New Zealand, as a standard, we use millimeters as the measurement unit in construction, and this may vary in other countries. For example, in South America, we use centimeters. In the States, we use the imperial system, which is inches and feet. Okay, but here in New Zealand, we are using millimeters, the metric system. Okay, so if I have to draw an object, let's say a window that is 300 millimeters wide, and this information is given by the floor plan, right? It's there in the floor plan. All the numbers, all the values there are the actual dimensions of those elements of that building. So if I have a window with 300 millimeters wide, of 300 millimeters wide, I will need 6 millimeters on my paper to represent the width of that window, right? So basically, I'll have a very small line here of 6 millimeters, and that would be my window, very small window in this case. It's just an example. If I have an object that is 950 millimeters wide in the real world, I'm gonna need 19 millimeters on my paper, and so on. So the first thing you want to do for the assignment to start your drawing is to convert all the dimensions. You don't need to draw this table, okay? But and you actually don't need to convert everything beforehand, but you can convert as you go. So guys, you want to make sure that you place your rectangle, your house in the center of this paper, right? You don't need to measure the distance from the edges here. You just place it visually first. So it's gonna be something like this. Just refer to the PDF to see the size of the final drawing in terms of the size of the paper. Now I'm gonna show you how to start, and you can start from whatever wall you like. And I'm gonna start by drawing the bottom wall of the house, the main rectangle. So I did the conversions from the figures, the numbers on the plan, the floor plan that we provided, and basically you can start with construction lines. So make sure that you use the 0.5 millimeters mechanical pencil so you can draw thin lines. Okay, so you're gonna basically start with the line, continuous line, and this is gonna be the bottom line of the bottom wall, and then the wall thickness will be 3.4 millimeters, because on the drawing it shows 170 millimeters, right? So doing the conversion, dividing by 50, it's 3.4 millimeters on paper. So 3.4 is something around here. You just mark it there and just you draw the second line for this wall. Again, very thin and light lines. So you can see there. Okay, you'll do the same for the side walls, the vertical walls here. Well, not vertical, side walls. And 3.4, you can use the inner rule here in this triangle. There's an inner ruler, and you can just place it here, and it's just easier because it starts from 0 to 10, so it's just easier. 3.4, and then draw the side wall. Okay, so as you can see, these are construction lines. We are going to erase all these lines that we don't need later. Now I'm going to start with the door. There's an entrance door here. This entrance door is 300 millimeters from the external surface of this the side wall. So this will be 6 millimeters on paper. Something like here. And then okay, this is the first line, and now we're gonna draw the second line for this door. The door width is 19 millimeters. Just place the inner ruler there and mark 19 centimeters. There is next, there's a blind, I mean a standard wall here with 53 millimeters. Just mark there, here 53. And then we have a window, 26 millimeters. Sorry, 28 millimeters. And that's it. Basically, you're gonna start by doing all the four external walls. Then you can draw the internal walls for the toilet and the bedroom here. And then you can do that the same for the columns, the 4 columns that we have. Okay, so when you finish, you can simply erase the lines that are not supposed to be there. For example, here. So now you have the door opening. And to draw the actual door, you can simply draw a very thin rectangle that should be 19 millimeters. 19 millimeters. The thickness of this door panel doesn't matter. it should be thin, something like that. Okay, good. And for the windows, what we do is basically draw two parallel lines here, very close to each other. This is a window. All right. And then, of course, you can erase these construction lines. Okay, so that's it, guys. You're gonna do that for all the doors, all the walls. And when you finish that, you start drawing the annotations, the dimension lines, and the symbols on this drawing. Just one more thing. Do not forget to include the columns here. All right, so there are columns on the corners and some columns here on the walls, and these columns are a bit thicker than the walls. So I mean, not thicker. Not the lines are as dark as the wall lines, but the column itself, it's wider than the walls. Okay. So now I just want to show you the different types of lines that you are going to use in this drawing. So first of all, first we have the dashed line, and it we can have like small dashes or medium dashes. And small dashes, the important thing is to make sure that you know, the reader, people can see that it's a dashed line. It doesn't matter really the size of the dash, as long as it's clear that it's dashed line. So usually for windows, what I do, and this may vary, other designers may use different techniques, but for windows, for example, there are above the section plane, so they are hidden. I use small dashes. Two parallel lines of two parallel dashed lines, like this. And for the grid lines, we can use larger dashes. And for the roof, the projected roof lines here, we can also use larger dashes. So the roof is something like this. Okay. And lastly is the dimension line. So the dimension line, the important thing about it is to leave a gap, a small gap between the object edges and the extension line. Ideally, we do like a continuous line where we're gonna place all the dimensions of all these objects on the same wall. So the extension line, you leave a gap from the let's include a dimension for this wall, for example. So you leave a gap here, a small gap, and then to the extension line, that crosses this continuous dimension line, and same here. And then you finish with a diagonal dash here and place whatever the dimension is. Right, the dimension here. All right, the same for all openings and wall segments. I don't know, I'm just guessing the dimension. And yes, what else? So these dimension lines should be as lighter as possible. These are the lightest lines on your drawings, in your drawings. So I guess, let me check here. Yeah, and last thing is the for the symbols and shapes on your drawing. So you will see that we have circles for, let me share my screen. We have circles for the annotations here of the grid lines, letters. We have circles here for the north symbol, for the compass symbol indicating the north, the geographic north. We have triangles to indicate the elevations, the viewpoint of the elevations, and here to indicate the direction of the section. So for these triangles and circles don't need to be perfect, okay? But for the triangles, just draw it like, you don't need to measure, just draw it on a size that is maybe close to what is shown on the PDF. So you don't need to measure anything. There we go. And write the name of the section as one. And for circles, you do the same. You can even use like coins or anything to help you draw circles, or you can do by hand. You maybe practice a few circles and then draw by freehand drawing. Yes, and I guess stop sharing here. So for the bathroom fixtures, also they don't need to be perfect. Just follow the general shapes here. For the toilet, it's like an oval shape. For the sink, it's like a rectangle, and the shower is a rectangle with a next here. And the shower fixture is just a small circle. You know, just you can draw that using the instrument, but no need to have exact dimensions for those fixtures. Okay, guys, so that will be all. I would like to ask you to start your drawings and bring your drafts to the tutorial sessions. I'm gonna be there to help you finish up and answer your questions. All right, let me know if you have any issues or you're facing any specific challenges with this drawing. So again, complete the external walls first and the actual building elements, and then start with the annotations and dimension lines. All right. So have fun, subscribe to my channel, activate notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.